I present now my story, full of mystery and intrigue, rich in irony, and most satirical.
ZARDOZ speaks to you.
Welcome, listeners, once again to another episode of the IMMP podcast from the Inter-Millennium Media Project. My name is Matthew Porter.
And I'm Ian Porter.
I'm his dad, he's my son, and I've made him watch a movie again. It's a interesting movie that made an impact some decades ago. Well,
Wow.
Well, let me describe this. I think listeners will be on the same page with us. You've got Sean Connery. He's playing a member of an elite rank with a license to kill. And with his signature weapon and his distinctive wardrobe, he tails an evil genius back to a secret lair where he thwarts their high-tech plans for world domination. And he succeeds, using his wits and guts and tactics and no small amount of violence. And along the way, he meets an unlikely ally and, of course, a number of beautiful women. We've seen this movie before, right?
I am so bothered by the fact that that description fits this one. Because I knew of this movie before you said we were going to do it, and I was terrified with my own history with this movie.
Oh, you've got a history with this movie.
I have a history with this movie.
Well, this will be interesting. But, listeners, of course, you've seen the episode title. We're talking about ZARDOZ.
The podcast is good. The movie is weird.
Well, my history with this movie is I knew I had seen some of this movie, and whatever I had seen had made an impact. And it was, again, I thought, for some reason, I never saw the whole thing. I just must have come in to see pieces of it. But no, I did see, I think, the entire telecast of this movie. Because I saw it on television. It was another Channel 9 $1 million movie on Saturday evening.
How did they do that?
This is a rather disjointed movie to begin with. And clearly, they cut it to pieces to put it on television. Sometime 1980, give or take. So this disjointed fever dream of a movie became even less coherent when you chop it up as much as they did.
Oh no.
So
ZARDOZ being less coherent.
I knew I was rolling the dice. I did not know I was going to get this result.
Okay. That would definitely do a number on this fractional number already. Yeah, I mean, 1974 science fiction weird head trip. Literally, giant floating head trip.
And as we record this, we just saw Wicked a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
I don't know if that affected my appearance of this movie. I did. I saw the head flying around and Defying Gravity was playing in the back of my mind somewhere.
Oh goodness. See, I know of ZARDOZ because the review of ZARDOZ was an early piece of media from when I was in, high school and college. I watched a lot of online reviewers from a variety of groups, mostly a group known as Channel Awesome, who have since broken apart. A lot of the people who I used to watch there have gone other places, and I followed them to where they went instead.
Yeah.
But one of the people was, I'm trying to remember which reviewer, but I believe I've mentioned him before. I believe it was Kyle Calgren. And it's a review that he has since removed because he said it was not as good. But I watched multiple times his review of ZARDOZ for being this weird art film starring Sean Connery soon after having been James Bond, trying to branch out. And so I knew of all the plot points. I knew of the structure. I knew of the references and weirdness of this film. I thought. And there's this little piece of me that's like, oh, ZARDOZ, that's nostalgic, but not because I ever knew ZARDOZ. It's because I knew people on the internet going, what am I looking at? And the thing they were looking at was ZARDOZ.
So you had nostalgia for watching other people who had watched ZARDOZ.
Yes. So here I am getting to be the one who has now witnessed it and tell you it's weird. But it's also, I understand the structure, and that makes it harder to deal with.
Right. You get past the weirdness, and the structure is fairly straightforward. It matches a James Bond movie in so many ways.
It matches a James Bond movie, and it does some interesting things plot and structure-wise. It's got this interesting set of twists in it. And the name is not one of those twists. It's kind of one of the biggest known secrets of the movie ZARDOZ is what the name is from. But
yeah, the movie presents it as a big reveal, but it was. I wonder if anybody watched this movie and found that to be a big surprising reveal, what ZARDOZ means.
Yeah, because we've got Sean Connery as a brutal slaughterer, one of the brutals, out in the wastelands, working and worshipping the giant floating stone head known as ZARDOZ.
Yeah, he's one of the brutals, but he has been selected to be one of the exterminators. It takes place in, 2293? I believe they actually give us a specific year.
Yeah.
And it's obviously post-apocalyptic. How far post-apocalyptic is not clear. At least 2 generations, but probably a lot longer.
And yeah, that means that we have 208 years to figure out how to make that outfit look good. And they didn't succeed in that amount of time. He is wearing the most ridiculous fantasy outfit, sci-fi outfit ever, because it's like thigh-high black boots and an overcomplicated Speedo design.
Right. It's some combination of a diaper and a sumo wrap, and it's in bright red.
Oh, and it's got like Western bandit bandoliers in the same red.
And he's got this bandoliers. He's carrying around a revolver, but the cartridges in this bandolier are not for that revolver. They are a lot bigger.
Yeah, he's got shotgun cartridges in there. It's like this man is those are not for his gun. Those are for him to like jump start old tractor engines, the type that have that shotgun insert that you use to start them. It's like, is that what he's doing all the time?
Well, I have played survival horror games back on the PS1 where I found a weapon, or even worse, I had a weapon that works and then I upgraded it. And then I found out that, no, this doesn't work with any of the ammunition that I've got. So I could understand deciding I'm going to have some of every kind of ammunition I can, just in case I find that gun.
Oh, you're absolutely right as well. ZARDOZ has the biggest PlayStation 1 energy I've seen in a long time.
Yes. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like a PlayStation 1 game in that sense.
If they ever, I don't know if a game has ever been developed, adapted from ZARDOZ, but if it were, they'd have to make it retro and make it a PS1 game.
Oh, that would be so good. That would be so weird. But very quickly after that setup, we see our Sean Connery hero, who I believe is called Zed.
Yes, Zed. Which made my notes very difficult because I'll often use initials as I'm making notes while I watch the movie. And we've got ZARDOZ and we've got Zed.
So there's a lot of repetition in the zipped.
Yes.
He hops aboard the flying ZARDOZ head as it shows up, gives the weirdest speech, and barfs a bunch of guns out.
Yeah, the speech is he's addressing the exterminators among the brutals, and as you say, he vomits out all these firearms while telling them that, in very particular language, that life is bad and the death and the gun are good.
Yeah. Okay, if anyone out there can get, like, loot box opening sounds and send me the clip of it burping up a bunch of guns with that, like, ding, it's like, oh, you got a legendary. It's very much got that energy, too. But he hops aboard the flying ZARDOZ head and starts hunting around.
Yeah.
Finds one guy in fancy looking robes and shoots him. And that guy laughs his way out the mouth of the stone head.
And also, there inside the giant stone head are a bunch of people who, without any clothes, but shrink wrapped.
Yeah.
Not sure what that was about.
Not sure what that was about. Preserved for freshness, very much.
Right.
But it's definitely got that, like, James Bond villain lair kind of vibe, which is so fascinating since Sean Connery, I think, took this to try to not seem like James Bond. But he shoots the guy inside the head, and the guy falls out of the mouth laughing, if I remember correctly.
Yes. And this is a guy we had seen before in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a prologue. I don't know if the prologue helps or not.
Oh, yeah. I forgot his John B. the Genie cosplay.
So we get this guy's head, and he introduces himself as Arthur Frayne, and that he is ZARDOZ, and that he describes himself as a magician and says that Merlin is his hero.
Yeah.
And he says all this while his blue garbed head is bouncing around a screen like a Pong simulator.
Oh, I was chanting for him to, like, hit the corner. I started getting, like, DVD logo invested in him just moving around.
Yes. And that's where we find out, what's some vague ideas to at least what year it is and what's happening. So we know he's behind ZARDOZ. It's not that big a shock to see him inside the head. But it is a little bit of a surprise that the first thing that Zed does is shoot him. Yeah.
I mean, we were just told that's what he's been trained to do all his life. It's like, oh, it was not like, oh, go talk to the people. It's no, the gun is good. This is, and you kind of set yourself up for that. That's a theme of this movie. You kind of set yourself up for that.
Yes. But the head continues on its course back to this idyllic valley with a lake and seems like 18th century agricultural community kind of buildings.
Yeah.
That have been in operation. It's not like they're derelict or anything.
Mm-hmm. And so he touches down in let's call it what it is, this very much hippie community.
Yes. Which we learn later is called a vortex. This is Vortex 4.
That's interesting. The numbering. That has some interesting implications. And immediately, Zed is taken by two of the Eternals. The people of the Vortex.
And he learns, before he finds any people, he recognizes there's something odd because he finds this upstairs room, which evidently was Frayne's room.
Ah, yes.
And it has this weird combination. It's got astrology and phrenology and palmistry and also all this weird high-tech stuff.
I forgot about this because this is where I realized the movie is actually going to be more clever than I was ready to give it credit for.
Yeah.
Because as he's playing around, he finds this ring with a crystal on it. And it starts giving him information about, all of the different areas and what supplies they have. It's reading this out with this robotic voice.
Right. And it's listing all the different vortexes and what are their needs and what are their surpluses. Who has extra grain, who needs this or that. It's like it's computer moderated barter system that keeps the economies of these vortexes going.
Yes. In doing so, it's projecting stuff on the wall, but he starts flailing this crystal ring around, and it starts displaying an eye. And in doing so, he holds it up to look at it, and it projects the eye on his forehead. And it's like, oh, opening the third eye. This movie is going to talk deep like that. It's going to do that sort of discussion. Okay.
Yes, and written on the wall of the room is this great line. In this secret room from the past, I seek the future.
Ooh, nice line.
And for some reason,
nice.
Zed figures out that he should talk to this crystal ring, and he does, and it's like Siri.
It is very much Siri.
So he can ask questions of it. So occasionally, it'll refuse to answer, but it'll answer questions. But I think that's taken away when he is taken by some of the Eternals who live in the vortex.
Ah, yes. He does ask, like, oh, what's this here? Flower. Why? Decoration. Huh.
And out where the Brutals live, there's practically nothing growing. It is utter devastation. Whereas this valley is green and lush.
Yeah. It is very distinctly like post-apocalyptic, we bombed everything kind of environment outside. A little Mad Maxy.
Right. And you get the impression that it has been generations since there was civilization, but there still are standing buildings. People still are wearing the tattered remains of 20th century clothing.
Yeah. But we're seeing a lot of Sean Connery's ponytailed Zed character here be a lot more clever and a lot more understanding quickly. He catches on fast.
He does.
He does.
And the Eternals, they are all beautiful. They are all in great health. They are all in this exquisite but odd, slightly high-tech, hippie-ish clothing.
Oh, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
This is about a man who's commonly known to have portrayed a spy being brought into a vaguely utopian and oddly lush environment full of an seemingly idyllic community who use a lot of high-tech gizmos to attempt to get information out of him and transport him back into the place using a very unnerving form of rounded transport.
Yeah.
Is this The Prisoner again? Did you make me watch The Prisoner again? Because I'm excited if it is, but...
It is very much that Prisoner kind of vibe.
Yes.
This is a very similar tone, similar feel.
Similar feel. This definitely has that, because the first thing they do when they've got him is toss him onto a very cold and sterile-looking medical bed in a room with mirrored walls and a giant view screen, and psychically probe his mind for information about how he got here and what he's doing.
And that's where we get some exposition about the Brutals and the Exterminators and the fact that they were doing all of this at the order of ZARDOZ.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently their job was just to go around and kill a bunch of Brutals. Seemingly mostly out of population control.
Yeah, this is a don't let there be too many people outside. But they're having trouble getting some information out of him.
He's able to resist them more than they expect.
Mm-hmm. And so they decide to instead pull up the last memories of Arthur Frayne, which is him falling out of the head. Just take that clip. I'm free falling. Just play that all together. But they go to ask, like, okay, show us the rest of his information. Not without Arthur Frayne's permission. Oh, he's already started to be rebuilt. And look over to the side, and there's a little plastic baby in a bag.
Right.
But they're like, look, the clone is forming. They are Eternals, because they are immortally rebuilt if they die.
Right. It seems like they can remain in healthy youth forever, but if some accident befalls them, their memories are being recorded and it can be put into a new body if when needed.
Yeah. So that already kind of sets up the wild extent of the technology they've got, where we jump from they've got resource Alexa over here to we are being given psychic projections and memory recordings. And each of the bits of technology keeps advancing faster.
And they're also all linked in some way that might have something to do with the ring, but it seems beyond that. They don't have to sleep. They just engage in second-level meditation, which involves linking their minds together.
And there's some divide, though, it seems, between the various groups of the Eternals. Actually, quite a bit of divide, because various of them have grown insane or apathetic with eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that we've got the active ones who are doing things, and then we've got a home full of absolutely out of their mind Eternals who have just lost all connection. And there's a group that are just laying there motionless and not doing anything.
And among the active and healthy Eternals, there's a difference of opinion as to what to do with this infiltrator, this brutal Zed. There's May, played by Sarah Castleman, who is kind of a scientist, and she's curious, and she wants to study Zed and learn something from him. And then there's Consuela, played by Charlotte Rampling, who thinks he is a danger, and he's awful, and we should just terminate him immediately. And there's that tension throughout at least half of the movie. And eventually the Eternals, they learn from May and from Consuelo what is going on, and they take a vote, and they decide, we'll keep him around for a few weeks before we terminate him. So we'll learn something, and then we'll terminate him to clean things up. So he's got a ticking clock and some time to do whatever it is he wants to do and survive and learn.
But with that ticking clock established, he is immediately approached by Friend.
Yes, the conveniently named Eternal named Friend.
Yeah. Played by John Alderton. And I swear I've seen John Alderton in something else. I'm trying to think of what.
I am sure we have.
Yeah. I want to say it was like a TV show thing, but I'm not sure what. Or maybe he's just got one of those faces. I'm trying to figure that out.
I don't know that I've seen any of his movies, but he's been in a lot of BBC stuff in either leading or supporting roles. And I know I've seen him over the years. He had a recurring role in Upstairs, Downstairs. You know, this is back close to when this was back in the early 70s. A lot of roles on BBC anthology series like Tales of the Unexpected.
I might have just seen clips from those things, but he has got such an amazing presence, I'll say.
He does, and he's got this sort of, it seems very British to me, this sense of he's very intelligent and witty and cannot be bothered to use any of that because he doesn't care. He just wants to not be bored.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of the ones who says, let's keep this brutal around for a while, anything to alleviate the boredom. So we do have bits of there's some people feeling the boredom of immortality.
And the fact that he's there stealing the scene from Sean Connery says so much. And Friend becomes Zed's guide through the communities of the Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
He has Zed pull a cart that has him in it as they go do a delivery.
Yeah, because it seems like all the Eternals do. They require themselves to do some menial labor, and most of it involves baking bread. And as we learn, they're baking bread using wheat or grain that has grown by brutals on the outside, forced labor at the hands of the exterminators under the orders of ZARDOZ. And all that grain comes back to let them bake bread. And they distribute this bread because, as you said, Friend explains to Zed about the apathetics who are just sort of catatonic, who don't say or do or respond to anything. They look like the healthy young Eternals, but that's it. And then the renegades, who seem to be in an old, I don't know if it's an amusement park or a retirement home or both.
Yeah.
But they are old. They have aged. And they're all senile. Eternal senility is their sentence.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what punishment is. Aging. When you've got an immortal society that can do whatever, the punishments for breaking the law are aging.
Right. You're going to get 6 months for that, not 6 months in jail.
No, you are immediately aged 6 months. That's odd because it makes me wonder if there's a way to undo that. Is it only ever a forward process?
Well,
I don't think we ever see anyone made younger, but I guess you'd just be remade and not aged forward.
I guess so. Spoiler, we later meet Arthur Frayne again, and he's back to the age he was before. So evidently they can do speed aging to bring someone back to the prime of their life if they've been killed. I suppose they could do something similar to that to give someone a younger body if they needed to be, if they'd previously been aged and need to be rewarded. I don't know why they'd do that, but I suppose they could.
But yeah, there's this pretty much perpetual party happening in this insane asylum, old folks home of renegades. And they deliver bread to there, but Friend talks Zed through all of the things that are happening to the Eternals.
And we do learn partway through the movie who these renegades are. These were the first generation.
Yeah.
These were the scientists and thinkers who created the system under which the Eternals are living, but they were not born to immortality. Or they were already adults and they couldn't deal with it. And they did not stay in their middle age forever like they were when this all started. They eventually became these aged, immortal, but senile and old renegades.
Yeah, there was that. This was the first. This was the first group, and this is the cost they paid.
I'm finding myself thinking about a weird analogy to other technologies like the internet and such. There's one experience of the people who lived through its invention, and there's another experience who are built into the world in which this is the way things work.
Oh, that's a good description. Absolutely. It's very much a parallel to things like that, where what is considered brand new and what is considered commonplace can have such an impact.
Because the generation that we see, most of the Eternals, like Friend, they don't know anything else. This is just what life is. It's eternal, and we're healthy and beautiful.
There's one other main issue that is plaguing the Eternals. That's the fact that there are no more Eternals.
Right. Yes.
Their apathy extends to the fact that they've not been having families, giving birth, making more people.
Yeah. I want to step in and say, I don't know if anybody listens to this with their kids. We might wind up discussing things. You want to listen to this later?
Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to step around the way they show and describe this in the film a little more carefully. But simply put, there's a lot of stuff that the brutal society outside has that the Eternals don't, and they are curious about that. And so they are continuing to probe Zed's mind, but it is not just for how did you get here, but it's starting to be maybe you're a solution to our population stagnation. Maybe you're a solution to our lack of our own farming, things like that. They start searching Zed's mind for other topics in that sense.
And whether or not this population stagnation is a problem seems to be a point of disagreement among the Eternals. I mean, it's on the one hand, nobody dies. We've got the definition of a stable population. If no one's born and no one dies, and yet there's also the irony of you've got this population of healthy, beautiful people in the prime of life, and sex doesn't exist.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have to, and like they barely remember what this is or how this works.
Mm-hmm. They've spent so long meditating and thinking of the grand sciences and such that they stopped living.
Right. And May seems to be the scientist who thinks, there's something we have lost and there are risks and we need to at least know more than we do. And Consuela is the one who sees this as a danger. You're going to upset this delicate balance. We need to get rid of this outside influence as soon as we can.
And as they study Zed, not just for how did you get in here, but over this week, they start noticing there's a lot more to him than they thought. And this is where there's actually a twist for us, I'd say.
Yes.
Where we start seeing that Zed can read.
He can.
Zed understands the systems and the politics and the philosophy that are being talked around him, because they never thought he'd understand it if they talked it to him.
Yeah, they were treating him as not quite human.
Mm-hmm.
And May actually reveals at some point, as she continues her investigations, biologically, neurologically, he is superior to the Eternals.
Yeah.
Greater intellectual capacity and greater physical fitness and ability.
He's better than them. And that's scary in its own right to the Eternals.
Yes. It's fascinating to May. It's scary to some of the Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
And we also learn that this was part of ZARDOZ's plan. Because ZARDOZ apparently was the person among the Eternals who was given the job of managing what's happening on the outside. So he came up with, let's create a giant floating stone head god to keep people in line. Let's create the core of exterminators to keep down the brutal population. And he also had essentially this planned breeding program, which unfortunately it was mostly conducted via sexual assault, which was made part of the culture of the exterminators.
That is a disturbing and unfortunately focused part.
It was. I mean, I understand story-wise, it's supposed to be horrible. They're presenting it as horrible, presenting it as what Zed was trained for and eventually overcame. But still, it's still not a pleasant thing to encounter in a movie. I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah.
But this was all part of the plan. It's as if Arthur Frayne realized that we're going to spiral into destruction if there's nothing new, if there's nothing happening. So I need to do something on the outside. And also, he's the one who came up with, well, if we're going to starve, so we better not just kill as many brutals as we can. We better turn them into slaves, and after we enslave them, make them grow wheat for us.
Mm-hmm. And we also get this very fascinating scene of Zed being lured during one of the hunts into an old library.
Yes.
And this scene they keep going back to.
Right. This was a turning point for him, and they give us a little bit more of the scene every time they show it to us in his memory.
Mm-hmm. Because he was lured in and found the books and found a children's book that taught him letters. And then he worked his way up from there. It implies that he spent months
in this old library,
reading in this library,
and lured in by someone we never see, but who is clearly, bringing him into this place in order to teach him these things.
Yes. But the one book that he finds that breaks him is The Wizard of Oz. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And that's where he realizes the fakeness of his overlord, ZARDOZ. And he's hardened into figuring out what's going on here. But we get that origin bit by bit as they keep on investigating him and finding pieces of this moment where he learned stuff, but he pushes back in ways they're not expecting. He mentally can deal with their psychic assessments.
And he forms this little secret society within the exterminators, people who are more intellectually capable as he is. And they make this plan to infiltrate wherever ZARDOZ comes from. Let's find out what's behind this, because we no longer believe what is shown on the surface. That's the huge breakthrough. Before that, everything was exactly as it seemed to be. Giant floating head from the sky gives us guns and tells us to kill people and grow wheat. Well, why would we do anything else?
It sounds like the weirdest game of Catan ever. I will trade wheat for gun. Sorry, the way you said there.
Oh, the Catan ZARDOZ edition would work.
Would work.
Yeah, you just have tiles for all the different vortexes.
Yeah, trade wheat for gun. It works. Oh no!
You have an app on your phone to assess surpluses and needs.
Oh yeah, and of course, if you roll a 7, you move the stone head to another thing, and
that's right.
Good.
That would work disturbingly well.
It would. It would work disturbingly well.
Oh, man.
Oh. They get a lot of use out of the footage of Sean Connery ripping the paperback copy of The Wizard of Oz and throwing the pages.
They do.
They love that scene. They love it in slow motion.
It kind of looks like a shot from a early 90s music video.
Yes, it's got that corridor perspective down the rows of books.
Yep.
It's got him in a weird outfit, and it's got him doing these moves that are exaggerated to the point of almost dancing.
Listeners, if you have seen ZARDOZ and you have an idea as to what song should be put to that shot to make that early 90s music video, let us know. I really want your ideas on that.
Oh, yes. Zed is learning more and more about the Eternals and figures out how much the AI system is also aware of things and changing stuff. Because it starts to like get in his way, I think, during some of this.
Right. And he learns that there is the tabernacle. There's been all of this talk about the tabernacle, and that is the center of our society. That's what makes everything work. And eventually he realizes or learns the tabernacle is like a central computer system that is connected to these rings and is connected to the fact that they have this mind link. And that's what's running everything and maintaining the vortexes is the tabernacle.
And the vortexes, they've got giant invisible shielding around them so that no one can find them. They've got this advanced cloning system. They've got all this water purification stuff, I believe, and everything else. These are advanced bubble societies. There's a little bit also of the Logan's Run kind of bubble environment stuff going on.
There is. This is very much in that kind of tradition of Logan's Run, or even the Time Machine with the Eloi and the Morlocks, the Eloi who don't really understand the system that allows them to survive. Same thing with the Logan's Run people. And Brave New World, this sort of the infantilizing effect of a high-tech life of ease.
Yeah.
So it becomes a search for the tabernacle because he realizes that's the key to bringing this system down. And he is absolutely planning and prepared to bring this system down. You mentioned the barriers. He's got his squad of special secret society exterminators waiting outside. And he goes and communicates to them through sign language because they can't hear each other through the barrier. But they're just waiting for their chance to come in and mess things up.
Yes. He's got his crew outside. He just needs to get them.
Eventually, it's sort of, you could say that Consuela is proven correct because Zed's presence messes things up entirely. And we've got May who wants to incorporate what Zed has to offer in a number of ways. And Consuela, who realizes this is a horrible danger to our civilization, and it devolves into violence. And Consuela is leading a group to hunt down Zed, while May is trying to save him, trying to learn from him. Eventually, May makes this deal with Zed where they're going to psychically teach him everything they know and give him all of their knowledge and information. In exchange for which, Zed is going to impregnate May and all of her friends.
Yeah.
So they can have babies for the first time in who knows how long.
And as he gets all this knowledge, he becomes more of a threat to the AI system, the Tabernacle.
And he discovers that the Tabernacle is a crystal that's been hidden away.
Mm-hmm. It's this like light-based computer. But there's this interesting moment where him in a scene that looks like him just on his own talks to the ring he got early on. And it's got this back and forth villain monologue with him.
Yes.
There's a good bit of Lord of the Rings in this too. What with, find a magic ring that is connected to a great all-seeing presence away in a land that you have not been to before. Then take a journey, meet the many peoples there, including grand immortals who are becoming bored with life, and defeat the evil, at its home with its own ring as part of your tools.
Yeah, there is an aspect of that sort of a focused quest storyline here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fascinating about this. It seems so completely bizarre, and yet its underlying structure is very understandable and very sound.
Yeah. If you sit back and let this movie wash over you, it is bizarre beyond belief.
And you can understand how utterly incomprehensible it seemed when they had to cut out a lot of the language, a lot of the nudity, all of the things that made this inappropriate for local television broadcast, even in the 1970s.
That's right, everybody. If you've been playing the Inter-Millennium Media Project board game alongside this, you can mark off another Matthew was too young to watch this space, I think.
Well, I was for this. I say the I said the late 70s. It was probably I was in high school, maybe college.
Maybe.
I
wasn't as far off.
I may now still be too young for this, but I don't think I was quite too young when I saw this on Channel 9.
Uncheck that box then. It sounded like we were hitting one of those regulars that we have.
No.
Okay.
No, this one wouldn't matter how old I was. Seeing this, especially seeing it chopped up for local TV, incomprehensible.
But Sean Connery's Zed has a mirror maze trip.
Yeah, he sort of goes inside the crystal.
Yeah.
And it's very much the same kind of scene we get with, whether it's Enter the Dragon or Something Wicked This Way Comes. That trope of the pursuit of a villain through the mirror maze.
But he comes from all these different directions and fires his pistol and destroys the AI from the inside. Although I really do love that the AI, upon being shot, says, "You have killed me. I am dead." It feels very much like I am playing dead now. Please leave.
And at some point, he has to take the crystal back to the renegades because he finds like the oldest renegade who's still alive, but barely. He's the person who invented it. He invented the tabernacle. He was the mastermind behind all of this.
Oh, yeah.
And all of the Eternals we've met are the second generation, the children of the people who founded it.
Oh, that has the best and funniest scene. Because it's him, the flashback of him making it. And it's I have built this device that will give us knowledge and immortality. And I have made it to be never turned off in case we ever change our minds.
Right. We won't know what it is we did so that we can't undo it.
It's that hubris is so perfect. It's just like I'm making a statement now that this will be A-OK forever. Right. Well, immediately cut to him. It was not okay.
Right. Yeah, it's just like that sitcom smash cut. Yeah, it turns out I did want to turn it off.
You just get the script font and the sound from like Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've never watched that show, but I just know the format. It's like, we made this to never turn it off, and we never can. The Eternals wish they could turn it off. Is the episode title.
Yes.
He's turned off the perception filters and force fields and shut down the AI that remakes them. The Eternals suddenly are being invaded by the Brutals from outside.
And they realize they are no longer immortal. Apparently, it was something about the connection to the tabernacle that made their current physical bodies immortal. And also that recorded their memories so that if they died through violence, they could be remade.
So...
And the movie ends with this literal orgy of violence.
Yeah.
It's the gathering of the immortals, all talking about the Eternals, that wanting to die, asking Zed and the other exterminators who come in to kill them. And it's shot in a very... They eroticize the violence of all these deaths in a strange and disturbing way.
Very disturbing way. And the massacre happens, and the Eternals die. But a lot of the Brutals are not... There's some of the crazy wild men that they thought the Brutals were, but plenty of the Brutals who come in are also the advanced people that Zed had been working with. They are part of his secret society.
Yeah, they are the first wave, at least. They're all exterminators, and they seem to be the ones who were selected by Zed for this mission, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next is not at all clear.
No. Does Zed retire with Consuela into the giant head?
Oh, right. Is that into the giant head, or they just find a cave somewhere?
I thought it was inside the cave that was the ZARDOZ head.
It might be. And it's with Consuela, who sort of has a change of heart here. And May and her friends who made this deal earlier with Zed have ridden away to somewhere else. So they're going to have their children and set up some other society, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the epilogue of this is Zed and Consuela going off into, you might be right, inside the head where they make their home. They have a son. We watch this son in a time lapse. We watch this son grow to manhood as they grow old and turn into skeletons, and after the son has gone away.
And it's just like the empty house they made inside this cave and Zed's old gun.
Yes.
End of film.
So something about whatever happens next, it has to do with rebirth, with children and a new generation, whether it's May and her friends or it's the son of Zed and Consuela and whatever this person finds when he leaves the cave.
Yeah. That's a wild way to end a wild movie.
And it's very much in that tradition of 70s artsy, surreal, social/environmental commentary. It's very much a genre from that period of time, or subgenre.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'd say the Prisoner was an early harbinger of that.
Yeah, that's accurate.
So yeah, this was an odd experience.
Odd experience, to be sure.
And I guess if we discuss this too much more, we're going to be going into our final questions, won't we?
Yeah, so thank you for joining us so far.
Yes, and stay tuned for those final questions when we talk about whether this is worth your time and what else we think we might want to see done with this. But in the meantime, if you're enjoying the Inter-Millennium Media Project, please go to IMMproject.com. That's where you'll find links to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting application, or just go directly to Spotify or any of those. And if you want more of the Inter-Millennium Media Project, you'll find all of our back episodes, including our previous episode about Sean Connery in Dr. No, which is weirdly structurally similar to ZARDOZ.
Yeah.
We would love to hear from you, so if you would like to contact us, you'll find our contact page where you will be able to email us at immpcast@gmail.com. You'll also be able to go to our Discord or send us physical mail through the United States Postal Service. And if you want to support the Inter-Millennium Media Project, you'll find a link to our Patreon. Starting at just $3 a month, you'll get not only the knowledge that you're supporting whatever I'm doing to Ian on this podcast, but also you'll get additional bonus audio content. And at the movie club level, you'll also get a mystery DVD in the mail periodically.
Hey, come see what it's like to be me on this. Join the movie club, and you too can have the fun of sitting down and just finding out about stuff you've never seen before.
And if you're a fan of the IMMP or of The Prisoner or Space 1999 or these things, you might also want to go to the shop that is linked on IMMproject.com.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian, where can people find you?
I can be found as Item Crafting most places, be that itemcrafting.com or Item Crafting live on Twitch. Come join me every Thursday for games, crafting, and fun.
And you can find me at bymatthewporter.com, where you'll find my blog. You'll find a link to my YouTube channel, where I do reviews of movies and movie theater experiences and strange travel destinations.
Mm-hmm.
So, final questions about ZARDOZ. Screen or no screen? What do you recommend for our listeners, Ian?
No screen. ZARDOZ is too weird. That's the problem. we made it sound coherent. Because that's the weirdest thing. ZARDOZ, if you crack any single piece off of it, it's interesting and fascinating and seems to be well made. Any fragment of ZARDOZ is bigger than the sum of the whole of ZARDOZ.
It's a fractal, just like the tabernacle crystal.
Absolutely. As a whole, ZARDOZ is incomprehensible and too weird to watch, and I don't suggest it.
Yeah, I'm going to say that as well. No screen.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the kind of person who is going to watch this movie and should watch this movie, you're going to watch it regardless of what I say. So my general statement is going to be no screen. I don't recommend anybody do this for an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, no.
But that opens up our next question. Revive, reboot, or rest in peace? Do we want to see a sequel or a prequel or something else in this continuity? Do we want to see a reboot, a remake of this in some way? Or do we just want to leave this where it is and back away slowly?
Okay. I'm trying to figure out what a sequel would even be.
I mean, I guess we could see what's going to happen with Zed and Consuela's son. We can see what's going to happen with May and her group and their offspring.
Yeah, we could do a prequel about this design from the inside of the Immortals.
Yeah.
Of how to create their own destruction, because this one guy doesn't trust it and he's got a flair for classic literature. But not sure about that. I'd be scared of a remake because I think that this is too 70s. This is too mid-70s to be able to be remade in any other era.
Weirdly enough, the one thing that seems to have the most potential to me would be adapting it into some kind of game. And we talked about that a little bit. You make a PS1 vintage adventure game based upon this, or a variant of Catan based upon the Vortex system. There are little ideas or moods within this that could lend themselves to a game of one kind or another.
There's potential in there for adaptation like that. Absolutely.
I don't think we need a reboot as a movie.
Yeah.
Partly because, as we said, it is in a particular tradition of movie, and there have been plenty of those made, and there still will be. That division of society and the infantilized high-tech immortals and all this. It's not that unique that we need to retell this exact story.
So I think I'm saying rest in peace.
Yeah, me too.
I will give it this, though. I'll give ZARDOZ this, though. It has given us the best short way to create the title of your new trippy sci-fi film ever. Find yourself a piece of classic literature, drop half the letters, that's your title. It's like, oh, no, you're thinking of Mary Poppins. I'm making airy pins. Nothing else. Just running with it. You can do that. You can have fun.
Yes. Beware the Ording. That's Lord of the Rings, and we chopped some letters off of it.
Exactly. I'm giving it a hard time here, but honestly, that most evident twist is interesting. I feel like someone could get inspired to make something new that's nice out of ZARDOZ, but I don't want them to have to go through ZARDOZ to do it.
Right. Can we just sidestep that in some way?
Yeah.
To put this in some more context, though, this was directed and created by John Boorman.
Yes.
And not a super prolific director, but an influential director. And this is not the first John Boorman movie we've watched for the podcast.
It's not?
No, it is not.
Oh, what other films did he?
He also directed Excalibur.
Oh, that makes sense.
Doesn't it? And that's why I sat up and took notice at the very beginning when Arthur Frayn's bouncing head talked about the fact that he's a magician and Merlin is his hero. Oh, is John Boorman's Excalibur some kind of a spiritual sequel to ZARDOZ?
Oh no. What if ZARDOZ is a prequel to Excalibur literally?
A prequel?
What if they're actually connected? What if we're getting a like ZARDOZ is the future past and the society born of these odd immortals who had advanced technology, but it all burned and they fled, turns into a growingly medieval society built on the structures they'd already done of a peasant class on the outside and the nobility in their castle, and that turns into a world of medieval fantasy that has these little bits of advanced possibility and advanced technology available to select few that can still use it, creating magicians like Merlin in an Excalibur setting and ancient weapons of swords and swords with grander properties.
That explains what we said when we talked about Excalibur, how Nicole Williamson as Merlin seemed like he was in a completely different movie from everybody else. Which really worked for the character. He was not totally of this world. But maybe it's because he was from another movie.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I just saw Sean Connery wear the weirdest thing. You're in a suit of armor? That's not weird. I've seen weird.
Yeah. I've got to think about that.
Okay. But overall, I'm glad you showed me this, because that bit of entertainment history for me of watching old reviews of odd movies and ZARDOZ being one of them, seeing it now, I appreciate the fact that I get to be the one getting to talk to our wonderful audience now about movies and maybe introducing them to stuff they never have and maybe shouldn't see.
Or warning them off of things. We watched it so you don't have to, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, this was interesting. I knew it was going to be an experience of one kind or another. And I don't recommend the movie, but I'm glad we did this.
Exactly.
And I think that'll be it for this episode of the Inter-Millennium Media Project. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope that you will join us again in a couple of weeks for more tales of media from the 20th century.
And in the meantime, go find something new to watch.